I'd like to show you what I think is probably one of my most favorite features, one of the most favorite things about using Illustrator specifically for creating web graphics. Now we know that Illustrator's strength is that you can create these vector-based graphics that can be resized for any purpose or just about any need. At the same time, we know that when we're designing web graphics, we try to actually build our graphics to the sizes that are needed, and we use the pixel dimensions to do that. However, there are times when you create some graphics maybe for one site, and then you find out that you have another website that you need to actually build that graphic for, and the pixel dimensions are slightly different. So as we'll see in this video, we can actually use the Save for Web dialog box to resize artwork for just about anything that we might need. Now notice I have a file open. It's called monthlyspecials.ai, and you can see that I have some artwork that I've created. This is actually created at a pixel dimension of 300 by 250. If I select the rectangle here, which is the background color, I can see in my transform panel, it's set to 300 by 250. However, it's kind of floating on a larger artboard that I have inside of my document. I'm doing this purposely because I want to show you a feature that you have inside of Save for Web. So I'm going to go to the File menu here and choose Save for Web and Devices. And then on the far right over here where it says Image Size, we'll talk about an important setting that appears right over here. It's called Clip to Artboard. Now normally inside of Illustrator, the Clip to Artboard feature is on by default. I'm going to click on this setting and click Apply. And you can see that Save for Web now is clipping my artwork to the size of my artboard, which is set to 800 by 600. So you can see now that my artwork is kind of floating in the middle, and I have all this transparent area around the edge, mainly because right now I'm set to a GIF here with transparency turned on, which by default chooses that color and makes it transparent. However, I don't necessarily need to set my artboard to the exact output size that I need, because if my artwork is going to be the size that I need, in this case 300 by 250, and I have nothing else inside of this artboard or this document for that matter, I can uncheck the Clip to Artboard feature and choose Apply, and Illustrator will automatically sense the size of the artwork, or you can say the bounding area of my artwork, and set my file size to be that exact amount, which is 300 by 250, as you can see right over here. So just know that when you're using Save for Web, you have the ability to use this Clip to Artboard setting to get the results that you're looking for. Now, of course, if I choose to save my artwork right now, it will get saved at these exact pixel dimensions. But let's say I decide that this needs to go on another web page, and the specifications there are that the width of this graphic has to be 350 pixels. Well, you can see over here there's an option called Constrain Proportions. When you check that, a little lock appears. That means the width and the height are currently locked in proportion. You can uncheck that. You'll see the lock goes away. I really don't want to right now uncheck that. I want to keep that on because I do want my artwork to scale in proportion. I don't want it to stretch in any way. But I can simply come here to width and change it to 350, click Apply, and Illustrator automatically resizes the graphic to that specific dimension. Now, many times, as you probably know, when it comes to web design, what's probably most important is the width. We don't really care necessarily about the height because the page will simply expand or flow as we need it. But we want to make sure that the width is going to be correct or to the right size. So here I can really dial in just about any pixel dimension that I need. And because all of my source artwork is vector, Illustrator just simply re-rasterizes it here inside of the Save for Web dialog box to the size that I need it at. If I need to go smaller, I can simply come again here to the width, type in maybe 200 pixels. Remember, you have to click on the Apply button, and now it resizes to this size. So really, it's a great way, instead of me having to manage multiple sizes and multiple versions of my artboard, I create one size and then just export it at the size that I need. Now, I will say one thing. There are times when if you're making a large difference in the size, you may think about different design elements that appear inside of your artwork. For example, at really, really small sizes, maybe I wouldn't have the prices, or I would have the layout a little bit different here. Or maybe at really large sizes, I would have room for maybe additional information. So of course, we're not talking about creating a small little postage stamp and then making that at a much larger size. In those cases, the content may change. But for small changes, for example, you have some artwork that was designed at 200 pixels, now you need it at 220. You don't have to worry about scaling or resizing things in the artboard inside of Illustrator. Simply come here to Save for Web and export it at precisely the size that you need.